Hello, SQL lovers. Welcome to today's section. In our previous section, we explore key concepts like aggregate functions, aliases, group by, and having keywords. These are essential tools that allow us to summarize, organize, and filter data effectively when working with SQL. Today, we are going to dive into some practical exercises that build on these concepts. The goal is to reinforce what we've learned by solving real-world challenges step by step. So we'll work on tasks such as calculating totals, averages, and counts, as well as grouping and filtering data based on certain conditions. This will not only solidify your understanding, but also give you confidence in applying these skills to your own projects. So let's dive in and solve these exercises. So first of all, we are given a table structure. So what this means is that we have to create a table. So I added this table structure again so that this will reinforce our ability to create table, right? So first of all, we're going to create this table structure. So I already have a table I'm going to be using, which is the account table. So, but for the sake of this exercise, I'm going to create the table structure again, all right? So let's go ahead and create the table structure. So let's begin. Create table, and then is account table, all right? So account, I already have a table like this, so I'll just give it O1. Account table, and what they want to see, customer ID. Customer ID, that's int. We tell the system this is our primary key. Primary key. Okay. So our second one, first name. This will be Vaka 200. Third name. Third column. That will be last name. It will also be Vaka. We give it 200. The third one, account type. Okay, this will be Vaka 2. Give it like 50. So if you look at that one, you will see there is a constraint there. The type of account we need is just savings and current, all right? So remember to put the constraint, check. So we're going to check to make sure that the account type is only in savings or current, that's all. Check account type in. The in keyword in is going to be in savings. So you have to make sure we are using the exact spelling, all right? So want it to be savings, savings and current. Current, okay. So this solves that one. Remember to always put comma. Then the next one is after we finish creating the account type. So we have business segment. This one also have a constraint. Worker business segment. Okay, let's just give it 50. 50. Because of the check constraint, we have to business segment in. So we want the business segment to be in. Want it to be in, let's see. Want it to be in retail. in retail and business. Okay. Okay. So we have to delete the previous ones we have. Comma. Oh, sorry. So the comma at the end. That's what I want to do. Okay. So let's check the next one. Balance. So we're going to create the balance. This will be decimal 10, 2, comma, 7. Then date of birth. That's the last one. And this will be in data type. And this is the end of creating a table structure. So we're going to run this. Command completed successfully. So we are done creating the table, right? So you can also confirm that you can also confirm that the table exists, all right? So let's confirm that before we start solving. We already talked about how to insert values into our table, right? So because it's not today's section, we've already treated it previously. So this is the table structure. So let's just confirm that this table exists, and that's all. From this. Bravo. So look at it. We are done creating the table structure. So right now, we're going to start solving our exercise. Let me drop the table first. Completed successfully. So if we check again, we won't see this table anymore. So we're going to start treating the exercises, okay? So number one question says, let's get number one question. Calculate the total balance of all accounts. All right, all the accounts, calculate the total balance of all the accounts. So all the accounts we have, how much are we having? How much is the total balance in the account? So this is just to use one of the aggregate function because we've already here um, seen total. So what it means, we are summing, okay? Select sum, sorry, sum. So what are we summing? Balance. So I have to from account. All right. So this is the total balance we are having. All the customers we have, these are the total balance. So these are the total deposit of funds in our bank. So this solves number one question. Then let's look at number two. Number two says, find the average balance of accounts. All right. So it's the same thing with the first one. So the only difference is this time we're just changing the sum to average, right? So what matters is that you understand the question because Understanding the question will enable you to know what you're treating, okay? So average balance, and that's all. You get the average balance of all the accounts we are having. So this is the average balance of all the accounts we're having. So there is a way to round up, but once we get to that, we're going to solve it. So we are not naming the column because we are not asked to, but if you want, you can actually do that, naming your column, okay? So this will help whomever that is seeing the data to understand what you did, okay? Balance. So this one, we can write average balance. So this is just to name the column, you see? This is beautiful. So then number 3, determine the highest and lowest account balance. So the person wants to see the lowest and the highest account balance. Okay. So you know the function for that. That is our min and max, right? Min is the lowest, then max is the highest, all right? So to get the min account balance, we just do min balance as min. Then we're asked to also get the max balance, right? The max. And that's all we are asked to do in this. Okay, I didn't name this one. So you see the importance of aliasing your column. Balance. So this solves our number 1 question. We can see the minimum balance, then we have the maximum balance, the customer with the lowest balance and the customer with the highest balance. These are the balances. So let's see. So this one is saying, count the total number of accounts we have. So whenever we hear total, we already know is to sum it, right? So let's do that. Control C. I think I'm placing it before. Okay, let's do it. So sum, that's all. We sum it. Sorry, okay, this is count the total number of accounts. So this is not balance, right? Okay, so the count function, just like we said before, count can count rows, okay? So you can also count columns. So now we are counting the total number of accounts. So if we're counting rows, this series, the star sign is to count all rows. That's what we are doing here. Total accounts. All right. Okay, so it means we have 354 accounts. So we have 354 accounts with us. That solves our number 4. So let's look at number 5. So number 5 is saying, write a query to display first name as account holder and balance as current balance. Okay, so you know, because we've already, this is just asking us to name our column, all right? So you just like using alias, right? You know, the previous ones we solved, I didn't use AS, right? So, but system already know, even if you did not use it, that you want to name your column by writing the desired name beside it, okay? So let's write a query to display first name as account name. Select first name as account holder then, and balance as current balance, then balance as current balance. So these are what we are asked to do. That's all from account. So you see, so we selected the first name and we give it account holder. We selected the current balance and we give it balance. So you can put it side by side and you see the difference with the one we name. All right. First name, balance. Let's run that again so that we'll look at it side by side. So you see, this is the one in the system. Remember, changing the renaming your column or aliasing your column will not affect the source. It's just for the output for the one you're looking at. So nothing changed in the database. So if you look at it, first name, account is we change it to account holder, balance, we change it to current balance. Doesn't affect the data source, all right? So the next question says, add an alias to a query that calculates the total balance, calling it total bank balance, all right? So it's just like what we've solved before. We've solved this particular question by naming the first question, our question, by naming our sum, where we asked to sum, by naming it balance. So that has already solved this, but we're going to solve that again. So let's see. So add an alias to calculate that total balance. Okay. So with that we select. So we're summing the balance column. Remember, you always put it in bracket, the one you're summing, the one you want to get the value for, right? So, and we talked about that the count function accepts any data type, but this sum only the deals with decimal, that's the number, that's integer, right? So we asked to name our column total bank balance from account. And you see, so this solves our question, total bank balance. And we already alias it as we are asked to. So this solves our question. So let's solve this next one. So the next one says, write a query to group account. Write a query to group accounts by account type and calculate the total balance for each account type. So group, all right. So this is where we're going to use the group by keyword to get this. Write a query to group account by account type. Select. So remember, you will take the question because this is just like the basic, because normally in work settings, right, the question is not going to be straightforward like this. So you might have other things. So, but the key thing there is just to take it one after the other, okay? So number one, you see here, so you solve it one after the other for it to then you can now link them together. So if you look at this now, you're saying get the total balance and now group it. So this is what this question is doing. Get the total balance. So let's get the total balance first. So you solve the question, even if the question is maybe like 5 lines, right? So you will just pick it one after the other. So let's sum the balance first before we now group balance, okay? So let's alias it as total balance. Total balance. You can also use hyphen, right? Total balance by account type. So this is long, but okay, let's just do balance by account type. Okay, from account. Okay, so we've already solved this. So this is group accounts by account type, group by. So this will just, instead of giving us the total balance, it will just group the balance according to the type of accounts we have, all right? So let's look at it. So you see, so we have this, okay, so this is not all that clear. So what it means is that we have to add this group by in the select statement, okay, to enable us to understand it more. Okay, bravo. So see, so the group by help us, right, to just divide the data to give it more details. So this is more details because before we are just having we're just having the numbers without knowing which is for which, right? So why group by is very, very important, right? So you give your data details instead of giving it a single value. Because if you run this first one, it will just give us a single value. So we're just saying we don't know which is which, all right? Sorry. Is this account type is not contained in aggregate. So if you want to get the single value, we can take this out, right? So you see, the aggregate function, we just return a single value. Let's use a window function on aggregate function. On aggregate, that will give you something like group by again, all right? Apart from that, you need a group by. So this will just give you this, right? One single value. So if you need more details, you can use group by so that you know which is which, okay? So that's all for this. So this solves our question. So let's check the next one. The next question. So this says group accounts by business and count how many accounts belong to each segment. Okay. Group accounts by business. That's one question group. Then the next one count how many accounts that belong to each segment. Okay. So select. So since we are doing business, since we are using business segment, we have to output it in the select statement so that we see our data and understand it more, okay? Business segment, let's then count how many accounts. So this is count, we are not summing, we count how many accounts belong to each segment. You can also count the account ID. So in this table now, I'm only having unique values. So if your table, right, is not having unique values and you just want the unique values because some customers might have many accounts, you can put distinct. We talked about distinct in our lesson previously. So you can put distinct, then distinct, maybe customer ID. That will enable the system to just get the distinct customers for you, right? So let's name this column count, total account, okay? Total account. From. So with this now, we need to solve the group by group by business segment. So you see, so what this means is that we have three types of business segments. The first one is business. The second one is entrepreneur. The third one is retail. So if we look at this now, this is telling us that we have more of retail customer than other ones, right? The entrepreneurs, we only have 10 accounts, and the business account, we only have 92. So this will help us to make an informed decision, to know where to channel our energy or to channel our campaign to. So this solves this particular question. So let's look at the next question. So the next question says, write a query to show account types with a total balance exceeding 50,000 naira. So definitely, I'm sure the account type was seen. So write a query to show account type with a total balance. So what this is telling you, number one, you need to get the total balance, right? Then you need to use the having keyword to know the account that the total balance is like type of account, right? That their balance is more than 50,000. Okay, so let's see. Select. What are we selecting? Account type. So let's output account type. We just get the details, all right? Account type. Then we'll check the total balance. So, some some balances total. Remember, you can write it this way. You can still put your alias. Anyone works, okay? From account. This account type, I don't think I spelled it well. Did I spell this well? It's many multi. This is it. Having total balance. Okay, let's look at this first so that we can take. So we need group by to be able to view this. I wanted us to look at this so that when we get the having keyword, when we use it, so that we understand how that works. So let's use group by first. Account. So let's see this. Oh, so all our accounts, their balance exceed 50,000. You see? So what it means is that if actually we run this, so we are still going to get all these three, right? So, but we can increase the value later so that we'll look at it again. So let's use the having clause to solve our question first. Having account balance, having balance, not having total balance, having greater than 50,000, all right? So this will go. If you still want, you can add it so that you see the account that is giving you, okay? So this is 50,000. Hold on. Let's see the account that this is giving us because I was thinking all is more than 50,000. Let's see. Again. So remember, it's also very important because if you didn't put it in order, it's not going to run. Like if I put this having keywords above the group by, it's not going to work, right? So we're going to still talk about the order of exception in SQL, right? How to write your queries. So we have orders. The select must come first. So if I have placed the group by under the having, it's not going to work. So let's see. So all our balance is more than 50,000. Okay, greater than. Is that what I'm doing? I'm doing greater than. Let me look at the question again. Exceeding. Write a query to show account balance with a total balance exceeding 50,000. Okay, so all our accounts exceed 50,000. So, but let's check the highest. So we're having 200. So let's just do two, 220, 200,000. This is 2 million now. Hold on. Two, two. Okay, let me just check. I just want us to see the output so that we understand the having clause that is working, that is giving us all this is because all the segments, the accounts, all the accounts type, the account exceed 50,000, okay? So let's check this now to, let's say 5 million. It will still go because this is like 224 million. So let's change it to 200 million and see. 200, then 3, 1, 2 again. Okay, that's not 200 million. So we're just trying to, so all these accounts are more than, okay, let's see. Oh, bravo. So you see, it's only the corporate account type that is having balance that is greater than 100 million. Other ones are less. So you see, the having clause will just help you to filter your data. All right. So, but the where clause also help you to filter your data, but that works only on columns that exist in the database. So, but this having clause works on aggregate values, right? So once like this, now we don't have this in our database. So it's aggregated value. So these are the type of column you use your having on. So, but this, you can use where clause on any column that exists. So that is how to differentiate between having clause and where clause, because where clause cannot even give us this. It doesn't work on aggregated value, right? So that solves the question. So let's look at the last one. So the last question, display only accounts. Display only accounts type where the number of accounts is greater than 350, number of accounts, right? So this means they want us to count. So let's account type. Let's output the account type so that we know the one that is greater. Account type, count, from. account. Group by account. So, and one thing with group by, once you state it, it's going to tell you to input it in your select statement, right? So everything here is supposed to be in group by so that the system will understand what you're grouping by, right? So anything that is here, if I put another column and it's not here, this group by will not execute, right? So then we group by this, then we bring our having total accounts, okay. So you bring the aggregate function. We say it works, having works on aggregate function, all right? Count that is greater than 350. So what this means is that we don't have any account type that is greater than 350. So it means all the accounts is not up to 350. So we can also output it so that we'll check. We can output it like this so that we'll check. So you see, we're having total accounts, but none of them is greater than 350. So it means that our result was actually correct. So, but if we reduce this number to, let's say, 150, if we reduce the number to, say, 150 and run this again, so it's going to give us only this savings account, you see? So meaning that it's only a savings account that is greater than 150. Every other account is less. All right. So I think, okay, this is the last question on this, all right? Congratulations, everyone, on completing today's exercises. We have tackled a range of tasks that demonstrated the power of aggregate functions, aliases, group by, and having in SQL. These are foundational skills that will serve you well as you work with data. All right. Remember, SQL is a language that becomes more intuitive with practice. So I encourage you to revisit these exercises and experiment with different scenarios. All right. Thank you for your time and thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.